Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Michael. Michael is from New Jersey in the USA, but he lives in Scotland. So let's see what Michael has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello. Oh.
Hello,
Hi
Mike.
there. How's it going?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How's
Sorry,
your
I'm a
day
little
been?
late.
That's okay. How's your day been so far? Busy day?
Yes, it has been a busy day actually, getting a lot of things done. I'm only home for like a little while. So in and out trying to get a lot of things sorted. How was your day?
Busy as well. Being I've been working. I've been editing videos. I've been organizing some interviews for the weekend. So it's always busy but good as well. Same time.
Yep.
Michael, so tell me, where are you from?
So I grew up in New Jersey, but I currently now live in Edinburgh in Scotland. And I moved here from Philadelphia. And then before that, I was in New York. So East Coast American, currently in the UK.
Right. And why Edinburgh, Scotland? Why?
So I moved here for studies. I am soon to be done with the course on veterinary medicine and surgery over at the University of Edinburgh. So came here for education.
Amazing. And how long have you been there for?
It's approaching 4 years.
Wow. Amazing. I've been enjoying so far. How is going the course so far? Is that what we're expecting?
I would say yes and no. I mean, obviously COVID changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think right now it feels really good because I'm like so close to the end and like what's left is kind of like the downhill. That's the fun part. Certainly, it's been dynamic. There have been times where I was like, this is so hard. Maybe I'm in over my head. Maybe everything I've done to work to get to this point was the wrong choice. Maybe, but then right now it feels like it's 100% the right choice and that it's where I'm meant to be. So, yeah.
Amazing. And you're planning to stay for a while more there or not? You're planning to go back?
We'll see. It's very tempting to go back home. I've been away from home for so long now that it would be nice to have some time with family and also to just like save a little bit of money. The pound is stronger than the dollar, and veterinarians are a little bit better paid in the West than they are in Europe. So it's tempting to go back, but I do like it here. I haven't figured out exactly what the next move is, but I don't think the next move will be a permanent move, basically.
I see. And before you moved to Edinburgh, have you been there before or not? Was the first time when you arrived for studying?
I came here once. I did what I was calling, because I applied to many veterinary schools. It's pretty hard to get in as an American, so I had to cast a wide net, so to speak. Truth be told, I actually had to apply twice. The first time didn't work out. So once I had all my options for schools to get in that I had gotten into, the closest one was like an 8-hour drive away. And then all the rest were like more like a 5-hour plus flight away.
Wow.
And it's a big decision, it's years of your life, it's a financial commitment, it's a scholastic commitment, obviously. So I went to all the schools that I got accepted to and kind of picked after visiting them all because I was like, well, this is worth taking the adventure. So I came once before moving here. Yeah.
I see. And your family, they're all back in New Jersey?
For the most part, yeah. I have some family members in Brooklyn and New York. And then on my dad's side, I have some family members in Pennsylvania. And on my dad's side, actually, I have family members kind of scattered around the US. Since being over here, I have found out I do have like one distant relative in England who I've not connected with yet. And I have cousins in Spain, in Madrid. So I got to, I had met one of them in the States prior, but then since being here, I've made it to Madrid and met a few more. My immediate family though is in New Jersey, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, Michael, so you're ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of view?
We could try, sure.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here. of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question.
Sure.
Let's do it. Michael, so before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't have an answer, I always can change, okay? All very friendly. First question for you is, let's start with a tough one. If your plane was going down, and if you could call just one person to say goodbye, who that would be and why?
Wow, that is not an easy one. I mean, I think I'd have to go with one of my parents. Usually when I call them, they're on speakerphone together anyway, so I feel like that's kind of a double whammy. I think I would call my dad because my mom probably wouldn't pick up. So I'd call my dad. Yeah, just, you know.
And do you have siblings as well?
I have one sister, one older sister. Yeah.
Ooh, back in New Jersey.
Yeah, she lives there with her husband and her 3 daughters.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Big...
Well, yeah, growing. There's my youngest niece is brand new. I've actually not even met her yet. I've been here since she was born, so.
Oh, sweet. Next one, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me what do you like the most about your course, veterinarian course, and what's the most challenging part?
Okay, so what I like the most, I think, has little to do with the actual course. I think it has to do with the school that I chose. I think choosing to go abroad for such a long time really opened a lot of doors, and I've seen a lot of different ways to do what it is that I want to do. You know, this has really facilitated a lot of travel, and I've gotten to see the way people practice veterinary medicine in different parts of the world, and it's kind of been impactful in that way. Most challenging part, I think, I mean, there's many, many challenging parts for sure. I think making sure, I mean, this is like a buzzword these days, but like dealing with imposter syndrome, like making sure that you are capable of doing it, you know, like is like saying I have what it takes to do it, and then convincing myself of that when I have the doubt, you know, because I can reach that conclusion in an individual moment saying like, you know, I am going to be a veterinarian, I'll be a good one, but then in certain stressful situations, you might go down deep and have doubts. And I think just being able to face doubt on a really regular basis is probably the most challenging part.
See. Next question for you is, what do you think is a good age to start dating and why?
I've kind of answered this question once before, like in my first degree in an undergrad classroom, and my answer was there is no answer. It's totally individual. Like you might be emotionally mature and ready to start dating somebody at 10. You might not be until you're 24. I think it really depends on the person. So yeah, that's the answer is no answer.
As long as you feel safe, you feel like, okay, I'm kind of ready for it, why not? There are no rules for sure.
Yeah.
Next one. Okay, Michael, next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
To be honest, I'm an easy crier. So like a lot of things make me cry. You know, like song lyrics, just like one scene from a movie without like even context could probably make me cry. What can make me really happy? I'm also an easy laugher, so I don't know. I feel like a lot of things make me really, really happy. Like good food, though, for sure. And that's actually an answer that can make me both really happy and cry. I am known to have like an emotional response to a good meal and like both smile ear to ear and shed tears, like if it's really good food.
Do you like cooking?
I do, yeah, I like to cook. Mm-hmm.
And what do you like to cook the most?
Well, I have a signature dish that I like to make a lot, though it's a lot of work, so I don't make it very often. Like I try to make it once a year, but it's eggplant parmesan or aubergine parmigiana, depending on which part of the world you're in. I don't know how to say eggplant or aubergine in Italian, otherwise I would. But yeah, so I like to make eggplant parm, as I would say, being a Jersey boy.
Very good. Next one, let's do it. Before the next one, Michael, tell me, when you arrived in Scotland, I'm sure the accent for you, I don't know if, how did you manage with the accent? The beginning, what's the most challenging part of adapting yourself at the time in Edinburgh?
In terms of communication, it was fairly smooth, I think, in Edinburgh, because Edinburgh is really international. Like, it's a student city, it's the capital. There's, you know, some peak times for tourism, like they have like a big fringe festival in August, and then Christmas, it's another popular time. So I think most people in Edinburgh who are Scottish, which is not the majority of people, I think most people are like British of some other sort or international in another way. I think that they're used to muting their accents. But if you go somewhere like Glasgow's only 45 minutes away, like taking a taxi can be difficult. You kind of just have to like agree with the taxi driver, like, yeah, that's where I'm going, and hope that they're going to take you there, because it's a much thicker brogue in those parts, for sure. I would say, like, also though, it is challenging, like being foreign and learning like the way you say something is not what people are used to. Like I think, like, thinking again, still Italian, like I would say basil, and here they say basil, and it's like just get, you know, a little bit of a steady stream of embarrassment when someone's like, you mean X instead of Y, you know. So that's like I guess just taking everything with a grain of salt, having no ego.
Can you pull out a Scottish accent easily?
Oof, no, it's honestly so hard. I feel like having moved here, all my abilities to do impressions have completely disintegrated. Like, yeah, no, I definitely can't do a Scottish accent. I say some words that are like kind of local, colloquial things, but I say it in my own accent for the most part.
Next question is there a dream you always had?
Like a recurring dream in terms of when I go to sleep, or a dream like something I want to achieve or accomplish?
Something you want to achieve, to accomplish.
I think that being a vet is that dream. You know, I really have wanted to do it since I was 5 years old. I'm in my early 30s now. I strayed away from it for a little while because it's really, really hard work, and I wasn't sure if it was worth the effort. And then I came back to it, and now I'm really close. So I think that's the dream right now. Just get there to qualify and be a vet.
So since a very young age, you already knew that you were born to be a veterinarian?
I think when I was like probably like 4 or 5, like those early ages of memory, I either knew that I wanted to be a veterinarian because I remember like the family dog going to the vet and being like, okay, wow, you can like be a doctor, but for animals, like that sounds pretty cool. Or like I was going to be a farmer, like work with animals. Like I knew I wanted to do that. And then, yeah, I just had like a couple chapters where I was doing different things and not wanting to do that. But then like those chapters proved not as worthwhile. And I came back to this original plan. Yeah.
Amazing. Very good. Next question, Michael. Okay, next question for you is, if someone came up to you with an envelope with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
I think that I would open it just because like I'm so busy already. Like I wouldn't want to plan stuff that isn't even going to happen. You know, I think like I am very fortunate in that I have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of really exciting and awesome things. And I just am constantly prioritizing and making lists and restructuring. I think I would have to know. There's no way I couldn't know. I'd have to know.
Very brave, my God. I'm just so scared. Next one, let's do it. What is this drinking?
It is kombucha, blueberry and ginger. Yep. Straight up hippie juice.
Okay, before the next one, Michael. So as you were saying before, that you're a very easy crier, you can cry very easily. Can you share like a situation through your course that it touched your heart somehow with an animal that you had a situation, or even something unexpected that's happened, or something special, or a situation that you could share?
Sure, yeah. So it's kind of a long story, but I'll go for it. In the UK, if you study veterinary medicine, you have to do what's called lambing. So you go and work on a sheep farm for at least 2 weeks, and you deliver baby lambs, baby sheep. And it was like my first day of doing this, and immediately you're like in over your head. Like that day, there were 20 sheep that have given birth, and I was like on the overnight shift and like by myself, and one of the sheep was really having problems delivering, and I had to like go in and intervene, and there's like certain things that you do to make sure that the positioning is right, to make sure that there's a safe passage of the new lamb into this world. And I was using these ropes, and I remember calling the farmer because it was his farm, and like he was like, call me if you have any trouble. His house was a quarter of a mile away. He could just like walk up the hill. But his wife was away at a church function. This is in Northern Ireland, like deep in the countryside of Northern Ireland, still part of the UK. And he couldn't leave the kids at home because he had two very young children. And like, obviously it's not suitable for them to come into the barn without like, basically he had to coach me over the phone how to do it. And I also couldn't find the light switch in the barn. So it's very dark. This sheep, like these lambs are like, I was convinced the lamb was already dead, like convinced that there's no way it was still alive. It was stuck in the birth canal for so long. And I somehow managed to like figure out through verbal instructions how to like tie these knots onto its limbs just above its wrist joint and to get it out. And then like it comes out and it was alive still. And then like I delivered the second one, its sibling, and it was still alive as well. And I just remember being like this real feeling of like, just excitement and joy. And then I like was so excited and invigorated and like turned around and was like raising my arms up in the air. I was like, I did it. Like we did it. Like it lived. Like you're alive. And all the sheep in the pen were as far away from me as they could be because they're like horrified and terrified that I'm gonna like go, like, they all are due to give birth next. And it's like a scary thing for them too. Like a lot of first time situations going on. And I remember then being like, oh wow, I'm really alone also. And like, there's no one to share this joy with me. And that was like emotional on so many levels. So yeah.
Oh my God, that's an amazing story. Wow. Wow, what amazing story. Next question for you is, how long can you go without checking your phone?
Oof. I think when I have the willpower, like 3 days. But usually that's like situational where like I've lost my phone or like I haven't like gotten the right service because like being abroad, like sometimes that has happened where it's like, and then I'm just like, well, I just don't have a phone. So like, that's it. But then like on a boring, like rainy day here in the flat that I rent, like maybe like 20 minutes if I'm lucky. Like, so it varies.
Let's put the question even harder now. If someone come up to you, say, okay, Michael, you need to delete forever from your phone, YouTube or social media like Instagram, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all together, which one that would be?
I think out of like the gains that you can get from YouTube, I would keep YouTube. Although truthfully, like before the pandemic, I didn't even have an Instagram. I like only really started using it during Instagram. And I do find it is like a very addicting thing for sure. I don't have TikTok, luckily. But I'd have to get rid of social media and I'd keep the YouTube because I use that all the time for like instructional things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very good. Next question for you. Next question, Michael. Let's do it. What things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
I have really specific criteria, actually. For the long term, it's different for the long term and the short term because, right now I'm not really able to look for a long-term partner. Wouldn't turn down love if it found me, which, sometimes it might, sometimes it does. But long term, my two specific criteria are the desire to live in more than one place. Like, I really think that change of scene, change of environment is really beneficial to me. So between two different places to live, I would like to get like an urban environment, a rural environment, and a beach environment. So that's like the goal. And then this is really specific, but they must be okay with having a number of animals, really. In particular, at least more than one dog, and a flock of chickens, because I love fresh eggs. And I think it's like one of the best things we could do for like our animal members of the food chain is to like have free ranging chickens. It's just so simple, and like the carbon footprint is good. Like, so they must love dogs, must accept chickens.
The message out there, the person might be watching the interview, imagine. So they're gonna get ready for you. Next to it. Before the next one, tell me how is the American community over there? Do you have met Americans since you've been there? And the question is, when you need to go back to the US for good, what do you think you're gonna miss the most of your time there?
So the first part, the American community that I have here primarily is all from my university. We're a really big cohort of international veterinary students. Coming back to what I said earlier, which is it's really hard to get in the United States. And then also depending on what schools you get into, the UK is more affordable. So that's a big part of it. I did have a desire to do something different. Like my first two choices didn't accept me, and then all my other choices were equally far and more expensive. So here was like kind of a no-brainer. Like why not come to the UK? So I've met a lot of American friends here through school. Otherwise, don't really meet too many Americans. Occasionally some Canadians in Edinburgh, but lots of people from all other parts, which is cool. And of course some Scots. And then the second half of that question was, what will I miss most, right?
When you go back to the US.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because I'll miss it, but also I miss this about the US now. But like there's kind of a subdued and like patient quality to like the old world, so to speak, to like the UK and to other parts of Europe, where like, you know, there's not this like push for instant gratification, especially like in East Coast America. We're very like intense, fast-paced people. And so like here in Edinburgh, businesses close on a Thursday at 7 p.m. or earlier, most likely. And that is really nice in a way where it gives like a quaint, like small town vibe to living. But then also like sometimes it'll be like 8:15 at night and I just need like to go buy a phone charger and like nothing's open and like I can't go get something that's really practical. And like in the US, I would just go somewhere that's 24 hours a day and like get that. So just like the different pace, I guess, is what I'll miss. But I'll come back.
For sure. Next question is, would you ever get a tattoo, and what that would be?
Totally would get a tattoo. I have many planned. Well, I have 5 planned. And the only reason I haven't gotten it yet is because I don't know if I'll ever end up in Japan. And I know that like they don't let you into like the Japanese like bathhouses if you have a tattoo. And like also just time and money and budget. And yeah, for a number of reasons to push it off. But actually the first tattoo is right here that I would get. I don't know if you can see this. So this is the Sankofa symbol. So it's essentially a long-necked bird reaching backward and reaching for its own egg on its back. So it's carrying its own egg. And I encountered that in 2009, the first time I ever left the States. I went on a trip to promote literacy of all different sorts, like whether that's like just literacy, which manifests in many different ways in Ghana and West Africa. Okay, it's moving. But yeah, so that's a tattoo I would get. The meaning of the Sankofa symbol is, it literally translates as go back and fetch it, which has like a ring of servitude to it, which I'm like a person who wants to live a life of service. And I was, in fact, in hospitality. I was a waiter. I was a bartender for like 10 years of my life, paid for a lot of my college tuition that way. But in reality, what they mean by go back and fetch it, at least my interpretation of it, some West African who's watching, who knows the symbol, feel free to correct me if this makes it to the public eye, but it means like going backward into your own past, into your own experiences, and taking what you need from that to move forward, to accepting that you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle to accomplish what you have right there in that moment. Sometimes you have to go back and think about what it is that you need, or what tool, what life lesson have you already learned that you can apply to your future situations. So it's like kind of symbolizes second chances, which is like another big motif in my life, if you will, like second chances. Like I had to apply to vet school twice. I had to do so many things twice. And I am happy about it.
Amazing. I love the meaning of it. Thanks for sharing that. I was just listening to you. I was like, oh my God, that's fascinating. Amazing.
I've given it a lot of thought. I've literally wanted it for 13 years, 14 years almost.
Wow. Wow. And where is it going to be in your body, do you think? In your arm or?
So I think it'll be in two parts, because there's the bird and there's the egg. And so I don't know which part's going to go where, but I want to get I also have broken my wrist, or broken my radius rather, like right here. So I would get either the bird or the egg here where I had broken that bone. And then I would get the other counterpart like on my rib cage here. So you would put them together. So that'd be, yeah.
Wow, amazing. All well organized.
I've definitely thought about it. It's like, hasn't always been that spot. Who knows, in like 2 months, if I still haven't gotten it, maybe it'll be in a different spot, but that's the work in progress.
3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Next question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? And what would you do?
I would struggle being invisible. Like that would be hard for me. And I have always wanted to fly. Like that's like 100% I'd go with flight. Have to be able to fly. Be so cool.
And if you could fly right now somewhere in the world, where would you fly at the moment?
Oof. Anywhere in the whole wide world. Maybe Italy. I've never been to Italy. I feel like Italy would be really nice to get to.
Anywhere specific in Italy? Anywhere like?
Somewhere coastal for sure. Like there definitely would need to be like water around. But yeah, so maybe Venice. I don't know.
2 questions left for you. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what makes you really angry?
What makes me really angry? I mean, I actually can be quite hot-headed. So like a few things can really get me going, but I think like selfishness. I have like very little tolerance for selfishness. I just like hate it. I hate it so much.
Let's leave there. I don't want to see you. Ready for the last one, Michael?
Sure.
Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, people watch the interview. Would you like to start a course, a journey as a veterinarian? What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
People who want to become veterinarians?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to consider, because it's, at least for Americans, it's an 11-month application process that many people have to go through 2 or more times. And I think it's really easy in that it's really easy to focus on like being the perfect product almost to get into the school. It's like you really need to like have like the grades. You have to have, certain abilities with your personality to communicate. You have to have like a really strong work ethic. You need to have experiences and references, and you can get so focused on fitting the mold of what a school might be looking for, that like in my experience now after the fact, like truthfully, I applied to 13 schools when I went to like out for like my second round of applications, and Edinburgh was my 13th application. I was like, I had a little bit of time left to get the applications out, and it was 100% the last one that I thought that I would go to. And then when I had my options, I visited them all and they were all super different. It got harder and harder. And I visited Edinburgh last and I was like, actually, this is the option. This is the one. This is where I'm going to go. So I think like making sure that the education fits you as much as you fit the education is really important. So like, you know, putting your work-life balance, your desires, what you want first rather than what the school wants out of you, because you know people are going to demand stuff from you every day for the rest of your life. Like no one's ever going to stop asking you for, you know, advice, your time, your skills. Like, you know, what do you want for yourself? That's really important to keep focus on.
Amazing.
Long-winded one.
Next question for you is, what is your favorite kitchen smell?
Favorite kitchen smell? Oh my God, that's impossible. Ooh, I think like sauteing, if I can cheat, onions, pepper, and garlic together. Onions, peppers, and garlic together, like sauteing, because that's like the base of so many good things.
Yeah.
Like you could take that and go into a million directions, but you pretty much know it's going to be good. Like you use a ton of garlic, it's going to be good. Like
Fried onions are the best. Like it's the best fried onions. When you go to the kitchen, you can smell this fresh onion. Just
yeah, sweet, savory, all of it.
Michael, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like. Don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game.
Sure.
Family.
A stress? That's really bad, but like
Money.
Gain?
One word for love.
Rewarding.
One word for life.
Full.
Sex.
Now?
After the interview. One word for politics.
Politics. Ego.
Religion.
Complicated.
Fear.
Natural.
Friendship.
Necessary.
Desire.
Desire. Like normal, I think. Like
Regrets.
apologies.
Success.
Smiles.
One word for wish.
Wish. Freedom.
One word for happiness.
I think solitude, sadly.
One word for Edinburgh.
Cold. It's cold here.
One word for Scotland.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
New Jersey. One word.
Better. Like, I just think better. It's better than anyone would expect. It has a lot to offer.
One word for USA.
Big. Very big.
After leaving Scotland, for sure, US feels like we are big.
Like the US is like a million different countries in one. Like, yeah, it's huge. It's big.
And the last one now, veterinarian. One word.
Veterinarian. Resilience. Like that's like you just need resilience.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Michael. At the same time as well, tell him something that he needs to improve on, to work on. What he would say, your best friend or she?
Well, they would definitely say I need to work on being on time. I need to be more punctual, like stop being late for literally everything. But I think they would say my good quality is that I'm very loving. I'm very, I like to embrace. I like to support. I like to uplift and to reap the benefits of someone's joy and to feel down if they're feeling down, like just to be with them, be present with them.
Amazing. Let's play now, Michael, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me a question, what is your favorite animal? If you could pick just one, I know it must be very difficult, but just one, which one that would be?
Out of the animals that I've experienced, like in real life, tangibly, it would have to be the elephant, the African elephant. Very amazing, beautiful, intelligent, complicated, sensitive, emotional creature, and just like an icon in the natural world, for sure, the elephant.
Beautiful. You can ask me a question now, Michael.
So has there ever been a question that has come up out of the magic box that you didn't want to ask, that you were like, I'm going to pass on this question? Like, I don't want to ask this question. It's too hard or too...
Oh, very good question, actually. Actually, today I'm reaching 500 interviews on the show so far, and no one ever asked me this question yet. Amazing, amazing. Michael, it's okay. The first question came up. Actually, there is a question that I almost took away from the magic box, because when I start doing the shooting, the interviews, because usually when I do the question, of course, I kind of put myself answering it, you know what I mean? Like automatically when I start write the questions, searching the question, this and that. And there was a question that in the beginning, when I started doing the interview, when I was asking, I was like, okay, I'm sure everyone's going to say that. But surprisingly, there is a different, people start answering a different way. And fun enough, this question came up to you. And I almost took this question away. Do you want to guess which one?
I'm not sure. I don't know which one.
Okay, I'll tell you now. The one about the envelope with your death date inside.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll tell you how interesting this question is, because it's always got the back of my head, this question, because when I started doing the show, people, when it came up this question, people were like, oh no, I would never open because I don't want to know this and that, this and that. And it's kind of happened a few times. And after that, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to take away because people are going to have the same answer. Surprisingly, people start saying the same way as you did. And you know what I mean? The whole aim of the show, there's no right or wrong answer, is what matches your point of view. And I got very surprised that a lot of people, they start, saying that they open this envelope because, because of the reason, the same as you did, you gave, and I was like surprised, like, wow, I'm so glad that I didn't take away from the box, because it's how amazing. There are so many questions that people, they have different point of views. Doesn't matter, you can get surprised sometimes. So this question for me, it's always kind of, I feel like a special question, because I almost took away, but when people start, challenge and saying a different way, I said, okay, there we go. I think I must leave it. So yeah, I would say this question for sure.
Okay, interesting.
Michael, did you have a good time?
Yeah, sure. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. You're very busy, and you take this time. I think nowadays we are so busy with our time, and when someone takes the time for us, I think it's a special moment. Before you go, if you just can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
I think, okay, here's one that comes up over and over again. So no one is alone is something that circulates through the media a lot of the times. And even though tangibly in the real world, a lot of us are alone a lot, I struggle to believe that anyone is alone in certain feelings that they might have. And I think that is something that I try to spread far and wide, and I have to remind myself of sometimes too, especially like being abroad, and especially post-COVID. There's so much time we've all spent isolated, but we're not alone, so no one is alone.
Amazing, amazing. Michael, thanks so much. And as I mentioned before as well, as today, of course, this interview goes live in the future next month. But today I'm celebrating 500 interviews on the show. And also, you are my first veterinarian in the show. And I'm so glad. And I'm so glad that you accept my invitation. Thanks for being sweet and kind as well for being part of the show. And we keep in touch. Good luck with your studies. Good luck with your journey. And yeah, we wish all the best and we keep in touch. Okay, thanks so much for the interview.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.